Hey, if your income hasn't changed, chances are your environment hasn't either. So let's talk about this for a minute. So I've talked about before that usually the top 10 people that you spend time with in life determines what you're allowed to have for wealth, for money, for abundance. And let's break that down. How is that so? So just consider this with me for a moment, because a lot of people feel stuck, but they don't take a moment to look around their environment and see, why do I feel stuck? Because our environment tells us everything we need to know. So if we're stuck at a certain income potential, at a certain income glass ceiling, and we look around our life and everyone makes about the same money that we make, that's your capacity. That's your environment telling your body what it's able to hold and what it cannot hold. These are valuable insights to you. Now, does that mean you should get rid of all of your friends and get new friends? No. Although, funny story, I was talking about this very thing in a seminar that I led to hundreds of people about 20 years ago. And this woman was so reactivated. She stood up and said, "You're telling me I need new friends, that I can't be authentic and I can't love my friends?" That's what this conversation does to people. It gets them riled up sometimes because we love the people in our lives and we want to keep them. And you should. I am not saying you should get rid of people in your life, but here's what I'm asking you to consider. A, look around. See if they are helping you raise what's possible for you in wealth and finance, if that's your goal, or see if they're holding you back. Now, what do you do about that when you notice it? Because if you look at environments, people generally make about the same amount of income. They travel to the same locations. They stay at the same hotels or resorts. Everything is usually the same in your circle of friends. Because if I'm at one level and I become friends with someone who makes $1 billion a year, am I gonna feel comfortable in that conversation all the time? Are we gonna be buddy besties? It might be kind of difficult unless I'm willing to raise my bar to their level, because let's be honest, they're not lowering theirs to mine. So one quick way that you can get through your income cap is proximity. And proximity means be in the rooms with the people that will cause breakthroughs for you. Meet the new friends, get the new mentors. That's why mentorship and being in rooms are so valuable and so important, because when you are around people that are at the next level to where you want to be, it stretches your capacity. It stretches what's possible for you. You learn to think differently. You learn to behave differently. You learn to go, oh my gosh, I could really travel there? That's possible. I could drive that kind of car. I could live in that house. Really? I could retire early? It takes one person planting the seed, and then it suddenly, just like a flash, becomes possible for you. But if you're in environments where nobody talks like that, nobody thinks like that, status quo is just fine, then you're never going to grow to the level at which you want to. Unless you don't want to grow, and that's fine too. But if you can find a couple places in your life, keep your friends, keep your family, keep your neighbors, if they support you and you are genuinely happy in those relationships. But if they don't, if you notice that hanging out with that same friend brings your energy level, your frequency, your vibe down, because all they do every time you're with them is complain about money, maybe it's time to take a break, to create some space. Maybe it's time to walk away. You get to choose that. But the relationships that we are in with people in our lives are meant to have us grow and become better versions of ourselves, not to be stagnant, not to stay status quo. So if you have big goals, and I'm going to talk to you today about wealth and money because that's my specialty. So if you have big goals and you want to cause a breakthrough in the amount of money that you are able to make or that your body feels safe holding, then you must be around people having different conversations than you. You must create a mentor. You must do a program. You must do something. Go to a conference. Be around these environments that stretch what's possible for you. Because when it stretches what's possible, then you start to normalize it. And when you can normalize it, you can have it. That's what's so exciting to me. So the only way you can't have what you want in life is because you believe you can't. Think about that for a minute. If you and, let me see if I can come up with a good example. If you and your best friend, you've always done everything together, you make about the same amount of money, you travel together, you got married around the same time, had babies around the same, I don't know, make it up. But you and your best friend are growing. And then suddenly your best friend gets a lucky break. They were in the right room at the right time, and they started making $100,000 more than they were. And you were left behind. Now, what happens in your nervous system? A lot of times what happens is we go, oh crap, I gotta catch up because we've been doing this thing together. So if she did it, I can do that. And then what do? You start finding evidence for why it's your turn next. And then you grow. And then next thing you know, you're at her level. Unless you don't, and unless you, the other option is people get stuck by competition, like, oh crap, and their self-judgment and their low self-esteem or self-worth gets the better of them, in which case you'll ruin your friendship over it because you won't be at the same level. So, or you're genuinely happy for them, but still it'll create distance because the kind of things that they're doing is above the kind of things that you can do at your income level. So what are some things that you can do to break out of where you currently are into your next level? So you have goals, you have dreams, you have things you want to accomplish in your business, in your personal life. What are they? How much money do you want to earn? How much money do you want to feel safe with? Or maybe you just have a house project that you don't even want to consider what it costs. You just want to do it the way you want to do it. Barring no expense, do that. So whatever it is that you want, what is one thing that you can do to get there today? What's one thing that you can do today? I mean, I have resources for you. If you want me to tell you about those, I have the Walk into Wealth meditation, which I need to post some testimonials on this because I keep getting them every single day. People do them and they have breakthrough thoughts. I listen to it myself on my walks. That's how powerful it is. And each time I think to the next level. That's one thing. You could look for a conference that you could go to that you know the high rollers or people that are 1 to 5 levels above you are going to be at, and they will stretch what's possible for you. One thing that you could do today is raise your prices. You could ask for a deal that you weren't willing to ask for. You could ask for a new client. You could ask for whatever. You can ask for anything. You could look for a new mentor. You could look for a course that will get you thinking differently. But not just thinking differently, you've got to shift your body and what's possible for your body to hold. Because a lot of what's going on in the background with you and these 10 friends that you spend the most time with, it's not necessarily just that you think alike. And I'm sure for the most part you do. But it's, what does your body feel safe holding? Because the only way you can hold more wealth and more money is if your body says it's okay to do that. And another way to do that is to create an identity shift. Shift your identity out of who you've always known you are. And maybe that's lack, maybe that's unworthiness, maybe that's, I don't know, whatever it is for you, and break through and create this new identity. I forget the guy who talks about your alter ego, which I love. You could create a new alter ego that can, that is accomplishing what you want to accomplish. Oh my gosh, that brings me to, I shared about this yesterday on my live, but I'm going to say this again. Yesterday I created this sleep into wealth meditation where it combines work with your nervous system and your mind and your body and energy work and sacred geometry work, and it works on you. You listen to this meditation for, I think it's 12 minutes long before you go to sleep, and it does the work on you while you sleep. That's something that I'm starting to do, and I'm going to do it every day for 30 days and watch how it shifts. And I'm going to make notes and watch how it shifts. And that's just one of the bonuses I created for Wealth Calibration, which I just opened yesterday for our live round 2. People produced such amazing results in round 1. And I was doing it on evergreen so people could register whenever they wanted to. And I got so inspired. I was like, no, we have to do this live again. I want to be with you. I want to watch you create these results. So the Sleep into Wealth is one of the free bonuses. And then after this live round, it'll be, you'd have to buy it. It will just be one of the other products that I offer. But so things like this can cause breakthroughs in your nervous system, in your body's capacity to hold more. And going back to where we started this conversation, you can also look for getting in proximity to the next level. Oh, another way that you can do this, I talk about this in Wealth Calibration, is what can you do to shift where you feel comfortable? How can you get out of your comfort zone about what's possible? So maybe you drive around in a wealthier neighborhood. Maybe you go out to dinner. Actually, I love this one because I've shared about this before, is what if you go out for drinks at a super swanky hotel that you could never afford to stay at right now, but that makes you feel wealthier, and you get in proximity to what you want, and you start dreaming and you start holding the space, and then your body opens up and says, yes, I'm ready. I'm ready for my next level of wealth. And if you didn't hear this story yet, I'm just gonna share this because it's worth sharing. About 19 years ago or so, I don't know, somewhere between 15 and 19 years ago, I don't have much of a concept of time. When my husband and I were first together, so probably closer to 19 years ago, we went to Europe. We were in Venice on this romantic, extraordinary vacation. This was before we had our daughter. And I had heard about this super swanky, fancy hotel, the Hotel Denali, where all of the famous people go, all of the celebrities go. And I was like, I want to go there. But of course, at the time, we had both been starting our careers and we couldn't afford to stay in a place as luxurious as that. So we stayed down the canal a little ways. But one night I was like, honey, we've got to go check out this place. And we decided to go and sit in the lobby and have some cocktails before dinner. And this place blew my mind. It's the kind of place that when you walk in, you feel different. Like they have all of your senses engaged, the music and the scents and the everything that you see. It was stunning. There was a bride walking down this grand staircase, and we sat down and we ordered a few drinks. And even I went to the restroom and I was like, this restroom feels so luxurious, because I was already painting the picture of what I wanted in life, not what I had, and I wasn't going to be limited by what my current circumstances were. And we had the most amazing time. We probably spent a couple hours there. And at the end, we got our bill. Sheer humor. My husband ordered a Jack and Coke, and I ordered a glass of wine. And a Jack and Coke is not a common thing to get when you're in Italy. So when we got our bill, it came to $60. And we were like, what? We paid $60 for 2 drinks without the tip. And we just laughed because we knew we weren't paying for what we drank. We knew what we were paying for was to be in proximity to more wealth than we had, which did something to our nervous systems, which did something to our visions of what was possible, which did something to our dreaming, which did something to what we allowed ourselves to have. It expanded what was possible for us. And that's what I want for you. I want you to expand into whatever it is that you want. Whatever that dream is that you're ready to fulfill, let's expand into that. So I hope that this conversation inspired you just a little or a lot. It's okay if it's a lot, but inspired you to take the next action to expand your capacity to have more. Be limitless in what's possible for you, especially around wealth and money. And remember, money is only energy. It's just a frequency. And when you match it, it wants to flow to you. So the only thing stopping you is you. It's time to release your thoughts about yourself, expand. And if I can be of assistance in any ways, you let me know. So Wealth Calibration just opened yesterday. We're going to be live May 11th. If you register before April 20th, you get the Sleep into Wealth meditation. After that, it will be an extra course on my website that you'll have to purchase. But before then, it's free. And then we're going to do a live before the course begins to get your body and your nervous system ready for the expansion that's going to take place. And it will exceed your expectations. So I hope you'll join us. In less than 10 days and less than $200, your life will completely alter forever. So let me know how this conversation impacted you. Send me a DM or write it in the comments. I would love to hear what shift you're going to make in the people in your environment, or getting in proximity to something, or registering for Wealth Calibration, whatever it is for you. I'd love to hear about it. So have a magical day, and thanks for being here, and thanks for watching. See you later.